All right, and we're live. Welcome everyone to the ranking stream. Dinesh, thank you for joining this evening for you. It's morning for me.
It's a pleasure to be here, Michael. Thank you for having me here.
No problem. And for everyone kind of tuning in, can you explain or just let people know what time you're in, what time zone you're in right now, where you're calling in from the world?
I am in India right now. It's 7:30 p.m. in the evening, but that's usually a cultural thing. We have our dinner late and we go to bed late, so do not feel pressure to finish this early.
So I've always wanted to visit India, but I'm not. My lunchtime is, or my dinner time, I would say, is right around like 5:30 p.m. Would that be a problem?
No, 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 no. When it comes to food, we have food around the clock, so you'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I find that my body, for whatever reason, I like to digest it a little earlier before bed. And who knows? I mean, I think it sounds like you're a night owl anyway, so you're probably up and food has plenty of time to good food has good time to digest and you feel fine going to bed.
Oh yeah. And I need my midnight snacks anyway, so.
That's amazing, man. Well, hey, let me just set the tone really quickly. And again, thank you for staying up with us. And yeah, this just welcome everyone in our audiences on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and other social platforms like Facebook. And just to give everyone a heads up, again, the ranking streams to we're mainly interviewing experts in the SEO industry, folks who are building tools, not just for SEOs exclusively, but for digital marketers as a whole, just to help our lives, just be easier and we could work way more efficiently. And with these tools that Dinesh is building, obviously he's built with Recur Post. It allows some deeper level of management and allows us to stay on track with some of our social media posts. So I know that takes a lot of time. We've been kind of amping up some of our social media, game, and I know it takes a lot of time to kind of load, manage time, look at analytics, and kind of dig into what's working and what isn't. So, Dinesh, I'm super fascinated what you're doing with Recur Post, and before we jump into that, I want to hear a little bit more about your background from what I've read and what I understand. This isn't your first kind of venture; you've had other successful ventures as well. But can you give us just kind of a background of what led you to Recur Post?
Sure. So I come from a business family. Everyone in my family is a businessman. But I wanted to study, and then I got a PhD in computer science. So I was like a code monkey, a hardcore techie. Um, I got my PhD in Atlanta. So it was a big city, and there were a lot of these student entrepreneur mixers. And I started going there, and then the business blood in me was like, this is what you're meant to do. And then I
Mm,
started coming up with ideas that what can I build? And then I realized a big problem was that people had ideas, but they did not have the technical expertise to execute those ideas. So I said, what if we do something like that, where we partner with people, and instead of charging them a development fee, we take
mm,
equity in the final company, right? So, and then I started asking around that, hey, if I did that, would you guys be interested? And then everyone was like, yeah, we are always looking for a CTO. So back in 2013, I started doing that. We worked with a lot of amazing people. We built more than 30 startups. Um,
wow.
and then, like, yeah, we had some failures, some big failures, some successes as well. We had a good exit in 2020. While the world was locked down, we were actually able to sell a company. It was a great thing that happened to us. And out of those 30, some of them did not work for whatever reasons. Some of them, we had a successful exit. And then in some cases, they just worked. The ideas struck a chord with the audience. So two of those startups started doing really well, and we wanted to focus on those. So we stopped taking any new projects, and now we are focused on Rigor Post. And that's what we are growing right now.
Really fascinating. What were some of the trends, if you could share just a little bit of that insight for on the tools that succeeded and the tools that didn't? Like what were kind of the factors for some of those like winning and losing recipes, if you would?
Right, right. So I'll tell you a failure that really hit me because it was a great product. People loved it. We built an app that gave the skateboarding community in Canada a chance to play a video game, but in the real world. So we will teach you how to perform a trick on a skateboard, whether it is a 360 flip or like any of those cool tricks. So you start at the very basic level, how to stand on a skateboard without falling down, and then from there we have multiple levels. So as you finish tricks in one level, you record yourself using your phone, you upload that video, and that video gets posted on your timeline, and other skateboarders see that, like these younglings are like doing things, and then there are like pros there. We had people, a guy from California, he had his own cameraman record his tricks, and he would upload it, and everyone would like, okay, like. um, and it was an amazing product, and we had, I think, 100 gigabytes of videos uploaded within a short amount of time. But then we ran out of money. Like my partner that I was working with, we just ran out of money, and we had no cash to continue, and we couldn't get investors in time, so we had to shut that down. So that was one of the good ones that we had to shut down. Then we created something like Slack, but way before Slack. So we called it Mindset Connect. So Mindstack was the name of our company, and it built 3 or 4 products. So one of them was Mindstack Connect, and that was Slack with a whiteboard that you could draw. You could write on that whiteboard in parallel. You could have multiple team members writing on the same whiteboard, and it had some cool features. But it was a B2C product, and we just didn't know how to do B2C. So that was a lesson learned, and we said, okay, yeah, this is not going to work. Then with the same person that I worked on Mindstack Connect, David, he had another idea. He was working in the manufacturing industry, again in Canada, and we started building tools for these manufacturers. We built a no-code platform. A manufacturer could build an app that they wanted to use. So your business is now not going to be dictated by apps like SAP or Salesforce, but you could build something that adapts to your business. So that one is doing well actually now. It's called Cohesive, and that one is still doing fine. Then another startup that did that was successful was it was called Tweetful, and it was a platform that helped you become an authority on Twitter. So that's the one that we sold in 2020, and we wanted to focus only on Ricker Post, so we let that one go.
Yeah, that's super fascinating. What did you guys when it came to like I would say not the mind, was it Mindshare or Minds, like kind of like the similar
Mindset Connect, yeah.
Okay, yeah. When was it a good time where you realized that like, okay, it's time to cut it off? Because certainly, like money is always kind of a factor when it comes to like scaling up, especially with like the skateboarding app that you talked about. Like you just ran out, the funds ran out. But when was it?
Correct.
Instead of going to like VCs or something like that, you just decided to kind of kill the project. What went into kind of those decisions to like kill versus like raise money and continue to move forward?
So one thing was that we ourselves were not super happy about it. Like
Okay.
we didn't feel like we would use it every day. And
Right.
then like at the end of the day, if you don't like it, like you when you show it to someone, you'll feel like, yeah, we're working on it, we'll make it better. But this is the first draft. And when you start that way, it's very hard for you to go in with that conviction that, hey, this is the best product in the market, and this is going to revolutionize
Right.
the industry. And I'm like, no, maybe not. Maybe we are missing something, and we could do something better, and we did. So that was a good decision.
So it's a good decision there. Absolutely. And are you said you have another partner as well, like David. Did you guys are you the technical side and he's kind of the marketing side, or kind of both of you more on the technical side? Like who kind of, they usually say there's usually a good balance of the brains, right? You need both the left and right side of the brain for projects like this. Do you or does he like act as kind of that opposite side, or a good kind of soundboard for you on these projects?
So David is the CEO. He is the idea guy. He's the finance guy. He's the execution guy. We have two more partners. One is co-founders. One is like very good at design. He ran a UI UX agency for a long time, so he helps us with design related things. One guy is a domain expert in the manufacturing sector. So since we're building in that sector, he helps us make the right connections and be a part of that network.
Right. So you go from the, obviously having a technical educational background to having just a bloodline of like business, like runners and owners. Then you go to, building a lot of different applications. And then what led you to Recur Post, and like, why was this the one, and why is it the one now that you're focusing a lot of your time and resources on?
Right. So, like I said, we built a lot of products, right? And some of the
Hmm.
products we had to shut down because we ran out of money. That means we were always broke. We did not have a lot of money. So, to get the word out, how do you get the word out? In order to get the word out, you need a channel. It could be a paid channel. You pay Google or Facebook that, hey, show my ads to somebody, right? Or you pay an influencer that, hey, could you talk about our product to your audience, right? So those are
Right.
all paid channels, and we did not have the money. Social
Hmm.
media was a free channel. So what we did is we
Mm.
said, hey, you know what we can do? We can automate a lot of this. So we wrote some scripts in-house, and we started using those to automate a lot of this work. And
Mm.
that started getting us a lot of people from social media. And then, like, even though those startups did not work, we realized that these scripts that we have created to automate our flow of social media management, these are powerful. So we put a paywall behind those, and then in front of those, and then put it out there. And Ricker Post actually worked.
Amazing. All right. So yeah, just can you give us a little bit more of a breakdown of Recur Post? What is it for? Who is it for? What is it great at? And
Right.
yeah, just kind of give an overview of the tool itself.
Right. So when we started back in 2016, we were naive and we wanted to sell it to everybody. If you have a social media account, this is for you. And we quickly realized that's not the case, because like if a layman wanted to do social media, like a customer, they don't care if they post on Facebook or not, right?
Mm,
So who cares? Businesses, coaches, like they are the ones, their business could actually make money by posting on social media, or a politician cares
mhm.
about social media, right? So
Right.
we realized that it is actually a B2B platform. So we
Mm,
help you make money from social media, and for that we charge you a little bit of money. Then social media agencies started coming along, and then we
mhm.
realized that that actually is a great target market for us. So we started reaching out to agencies, started showing Bricker Post to them, and it actually worked very well. So right now we are like, if we had to divide our revenue, I would say 40% of our revenue comes from social media marketing agencies.
Mm.
20% comes from coaches, like business coaches, fitness coaches, etc. And then the rest
Wow.
40% is basically everybody, which means a small business owner, like a plumber, or SEO guy who wants to manage, offer social media
Mhm.
as a service on the side. So
Right.
that's what it is like.
Amazing. And like, I mean, there's certainly, I know this is not new information, but obviously, other tools who kind of have similar features. How is yours different from some of the competitors that are out there in the market that,
Great.
do try to, tailor towards a really broad audience?
Right. So one thing that we are really good at is identifying a white space, figuring
Mm,
out what's missing in the world. What's missing? Like there are so many social media management tools. Like
right. Yeah,
there
absolutely.
are close to 30 that we know of, right? That offer these services and that have a significant number of customers.
Yes.
Um, so one thing that we realized that was missing from every other social platform was these recurring schedules. So that's why our name Recur Post. So the way it works is everyone has evergreen content. Maybe you write blogs, maybe you have white papers, maybe you create videos for your marketing. So you have all that content that can be shared with your with your audience multiple times
Right.
over time,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So you create a bucket, we call it a library. So you create a library, let's say my blogs, that's your library, and you put all of your blogs in that library. And then you say, from this library, one thing should go out on my Facebook, twice on Twitter, like two things twice a day on my Twitter, three times a week on LinkedIn, four times on Instagram, five times on GMB, and so on, Pinterest and
Hmm.
YouTube and TikTok. So you set that up, and it will start going out on those platforms without your intervention ever. You create a new Facebook page, just connect it to that library, and it'll start going there as well. You don't, with
Mm.
every other platform, all you need to do, you have to go and edit individual posts. You'll have to attach this new account to all of those posts. Okay, yes, this will also go on my Facebook. This will also, so that is like a time consuming process, and agencies especially cannot afford to do that when you have thousands of posts. That's just
Hmm.
impossible.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point. Like, I'm thinking about some of the social media posting platforms that I have, and they definitely do a good job of like allowing me to have the reach with like multiple platforms, but they don't have the frequency kind of built in. And in true advertising nature, I'm an advertising, studied advertising and what have you. But what the core principle was like frequency and reach are like the core principles of like true advertising. That frequency of like having the message kind of constantly there, in addition to where you have that message kind of spread across. And it looks like a lot of apps now have just like that reach, but frequency, I didn't really think about too much in terms of how that actually works and how important that is to really getting the message out there.
Exactly, right. And actually, one of the bigger players in this industry is Buffer.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Buffer wanted to build something like this back in the day. And then they said, hey guys, like to their customers, that, hey guys, we will not be building this feature. If you need this, please go to Record Post. So back in the day,
Interesting.
that was a big boost, but this is not easy to do. Like this is very hard to do, and then that's why nobody else offers it. But we knew that this was going to be a distinguishing feature, and that's why we built it this way from the get go.
Interesting. And that's, I'm so curious in that. Like, why on that? Like, why is it hard? Is it because of the regulation or the limitations that some of these social media platforms have for automated posts, or is it just a technological like issue or challenge for that to be like, why don't more companies kind of do that?
So a little bit of challenge in terms of limitations, but that's like, again,
Hmm.
it's not like so big that you cannot avoid it. For instance, Twitter
Right.
says that you cannot share the same tweet multiple times or on multiple accounts. So
Right.
to avoid that, to go around it, we allow you to write multiple variations of your message for that tweet. So
Hmm.
one variation
Yeah.
will always go out once, right? So technically, it's not a big deal,
Right.
like avoiding those limitations. But the challenge is, if you have to build this, right? You have to build your app with this from the get go. You cannot
Mm.
add it as a feature, as a layer on top of your existing services, because this
Mm.
is such a complex piece of code that you have to write. You cannot write it as an add-on your existing offerings. This is going to mess up everything if you did not think of this from the beginning.
Super fascinating. And to kind of somewhat related, but like a little off topic here, like would the tool be great for? Would you recommend it for like newer kind of folks who are like new to the social media game, or folks who kind of have a like some following but want to enhance it? And the tool can help you get to that next level. Like, I know you said agencies use it, but like who like from the terms of like the influencer themselves, how would you kind of categorize the folks who are actually on there and who is it good for?
So we were getting a lot of requests from people, and they were
Mm.
like, hey, we want to use this tool, but like we have to write, and we don't want to write. Yeah,
Mhm.
like we don't know what to
Mhm.
write. And then, can you help us with
Mhm.
that? Like, it's not possible. We have 90,000 users. You can't actually have a person sit there and help them what they should do. So
Right.
we came up with a new feature recently.
Mm.
Like, we now are integrated with ChatGPT. So you just give us a
Mhm.
prompt, from your industry. For instance, you'd say, hey, I want to announce this stream about a social media management platform. And ChatGPT will give you this entire post for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for Twitter separately. It'll write
Very
a
nice.
different message for Twitter, different message for LinkedIn, different message for Facebook, etc. So, and then we have integrated with all these image copyright-free images platform like Unsplash and Pixabay and Giphy. So you could search for a nice picture, attach it, and share it. We have integrated with Canva as well. So if you want to edit your pictures, that is also possible. So that's why it's actually working. Like I said, 40% of our revenue, 40,
Hmm.
about 40% of that is actually smaller guys, like people who manage their own social media, 2 accounts, 3 accounts.
Wow.
And if you look at our plans, they are meant for those people as well. So like it starts at
Well,
$15 a month. So yeah, so that's where we start. But we don't um we actively go out to bigger customers like marketing agencies and coaches who
hmm
manage like 100, 200, 500,000, 10,000 accounts. But we have like about 40% of our revenue contribution from these smaller guys, newbies, and so on.
Interesting. Super fast. Well, you piqued my curiosity. I definitely want to check this out. I think you had a demo teed up, but before we do that, I had one more question just around the Chat GPT and like
Yeah.
the AI content. What are your thoughts around like how that's going to influence social media content? Are we going to be able to like are these social media platforms going to ding or downgrade any of that content in the future? Do you see that, or like what are some of the challenges with AI generated content?
So I often have these this debates within our team, and then they're like, AI is going to revolutionize everything, and I said, not everything. It will revolutionize content creation, nothing else. AI is really good at creating content. It will go do its research and present the information in a way that you like. You could ask it to write it funnily, you could ask it to write it professionally, you could ask it to write it in a formal language, informal language, however you want it. But that's what it is good at. It is really good at at content generation. So think of it like you have a VA that you trust and who has been working with you for a long time, and you want
Hmm.
to announce your next 5 guests. You'll say, "Hey, these are the guests. Could you please do some research about these guests, prepare some posts, and send them on our LinkedIn, Twitter, etc." And the VA will do it. So now AI is replacing that VA, so that your VA can do even better things for you.
Well said. All right. Yeah. I love that. I mean, it's true. I mean, a lot of the AI items are kind of based around content. Um, but yeah, certainly it takes a lot of the tasks that the VAs we're doing already in terms of just like posting, like writing, like variations of posts as well. So it definitely makes sense that it's really good on that content generation side, and it's only going to improve. I think the better it
Yeah.
gets, the more reliable the information is, the more databases it pulls from stats, for good stats or factual information would probably just improve the quality. So it's probably only getting, I mean, better. So curious
Yeah.
to see where that goes. But I would
So
love to jump into sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
my prediction here is within a
Okay.
year or year and a half, right? We would have AI generating videos that you would like. You'd
Mm,
say, hey, I need a video doing blah, 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 blah. And then it would give you a video that you could use. Right now, it does really good job with images. It's not so good with videos. Like there are tools that help you create videos from images by like overlaying text and whatnot, but
yeah.
still not the kind of videos that an editor creates. But AI
Hmm.
will get there in a year and a half. But that will be the extent of AI
Mm,
content generation.
wow.
Nothing more than that.
Wow. Super fascinating. Yeah. Can't wait to see that. Well, hey, let's jump into the tool, if you don't
All right.
mind.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen.
Nesh has been nice enough to share a quick insight inside the tool, and you go ahead and load that up. All right, I can
This,
see your screen now. We can see your screen now.
all right, perfect. So this is the
All right, let's
dashboard.
see this.
When you log into Record Post, you'll see
Okay.
all the social accounts that you have connected. If you want to connect more, you'd click on Add, and you would pick the one that you want to add. Right now is about Facebook pages, groups, even profiles,
Okay.
LinkedIn company profile, Twitter, Instagram business, as well as personal profile, Google My Business, Pinterest boards, and we are launching TikTok and YouTube probably by the end of this month. So
Very
once
nice.
you have that, you could quickly write a post. I'm going to use AI for that. So let's say benefit of a stream as marketing. Let's say let's see what it says. So you just give it a prompt, hit generate content. Okay, so too big for Twitter, but it says there are many
Mhm.
benefits of using a stream as part of your marketing strategy. One of the most obvious is that it can help you reach a large audience. So you get it, right? Like it actually wrote
Yeah.
this for me. If I wanted to announce something that, hey, I'm going to be with Michael, please be a part of this, I could have written this and I could share it on my social accounts. Let me, let's try something else. This is an old one. And it fails during a demo always, eh?
No worries. It's doing fine. Super clean UI, by the way. Really
Thank
nice
you.
and easy to find everything in there.
So you could post it right away, or you can
Hmm.
schedule it for a later time. You could pick a date and you can pick a time, or you could say auto
Mm.
schedule for best time. This is actually very important because
Hmm.
we can find out what is the best time for that account. So if you're sharing on, let's say, all
Oh
of your
wow,
accounts, we would know what's the best time for this account, what's the best time for this account. So you do not have to think about it.
interesting.
If you
And
want to
how does the
customize, yeah,
I'm sorry, yeah, how does the tool do that? Does it pull data from interactions and engagement from each one of those platforms and optimizes it for you, or?
correct. So that's where we start. So to start, we
Mm.
get that data,
Okay.
we look at it, we analyze, and we give a score to every hour of the day for that account. And then as we post more, we experiment. Like if let's say 7
Right.
p.m. is the best time for you today, we will
Hmm.
post between 6 and 8. Sometimes like once we will post between 6 and 7, and then between 7 and 8, and then we'll compare, and based on that, we will adjust, right? So eventually we would know,
Wow.
okay, this is the absolutely the best time. And you could
Right.
customize the message for each platform. If something is wrong, it'll tell you that, hey, this is longer than 280 characters that Twitter allows, so
Character
you'll have to
limits.
138 characters, etc.
Hmm.
And then you could, schedule it. It'll show up in your calendar. So this is a post that goes out at a particular date and time, like every other platform does. The power of Recurring Post is in recurring posts. So you create these libraries. For instance, we have a library called comparisons. So here
Hmm.
we compare Recurring Post with other tools. For instance, looking for a buffer alternative, check out Recurring Post. We have everything buffer offers, and then we have repeating schedules. And then this is a page where we compare ourselves with buffer, and then we link to it. And this is added to my library. We have 14 comparisons right now in this library, and I have time slots for this. So this library will post at the best time on my Facebook account, this LinkedIn account, this LinkedIn
Mm.
profile, and this Google My Business post. So on 4 different platforms, Monday through Saturday, it will share one post from this library. So for
Mm.
instance, you could see that this is the next post to go out. Once has gone out, it'll go here. This one will be shared. Once everything has been shared, it'll come back here and start sharing again. So if you think about it, like every 15th day, this will be repeated. I could add more
Hmm.
comparisons here. Let's say I have about 30. So before it finishes everything, I'll add those 16 more. So once a month, this post will go out. But every month, this post is going to go out automatically. I don't have to do anything. And as we write more comparisons, as we prepare those pages, it will start. We will add those pages to this library as well. Then we have inbox, social inbox, where you could see when people message you, and you could reply to them from right from here. So this actually comes handy. So for instance, my Twitter is actually pretty popular. So you'll see a lot of messages here, and then I could reply to them from here. Um,
Hmm.
I could assign it to other people. I could say, hey, this one, um, assign it to someone else. If I have a team member, I could pick them, and then I could assign it to them. Then I could look at reviewed. If something gets reviewed, it will move from to review to reviewed account. So you could see, okay, these are taken care of. So if you're doing some kind of customer support using social, then you could do that. You could attach tags to people like this is a customer. So we know that this is a customer. Anytime they message us, it gets tagged as important and user query,
Mm.
and you can
Very
filter
nice.
by tag, etc. Then we have reports. You could look at your reports. For instance, this is my Twitter profile. Um, it'll tell you exactly how many tweets you're doing, how many following you have, how many tweets you have made, what's your frequency of tweets, what kind of engagement you see on your tweets, um, performance of your tweets. You can see your
Hmm.
popular tweets based on retweets, based on likes, etc. Then top mentions, who are the top people who mentioned you, like influencers who mentioned you, or your top mentions, and who are the influencers who interact with your account. You could see it for last week, last month, today, yesterday. You could download it. You could attach your own logo, and it will download a PDF that you can send to your clients with your own logo. So if you're an agency, that saves you a lot of time. Then we have Feed Manager, where you can add a feed. We
Hmm.
support a regular RSS feed or a Google alert. You could create a feed using a Google alert, which means every time there is something new that Google indexes, and you could say only the best content. So whenever Google indexes something new that is share worthy, it'll come to your feed and you could approve it.
Hmm.
So for instance, here I have 249 things that are pending. So
Hmm.
you could see, I could edit, I could reject, or I could approve this. If I approve this, it'll go to my library, which is the Ricker Post blogs library. Sorry, the test library. And based on the time slots set for this library, they will go out. So I have like
Very
a
cool.
constant content coming in that will keep going out on my social channels.
Wow, that's really I love that as well. I mean, you have a lot of marketers who are constantly sharing new content that gets featured on their blog, and with that feature, they could basically automate like they could get the feed kind of importing a lot of those blogs, and then your system to kind of push them out to promote them.
Exactly.
Very nice. Yeah, that's super cool.
So yeah, I mean, there is a lot more,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, that's the
totally.
gist of it.
What do you when this is amazing by the way, thank you for sharing this. A lot of really good features and tools. When I have just like a sidebar question, but like do clients ever ask you like how the tool, and I know this is really difficult to compare the two, but when it comes to like paid to play like advertising on social
Mhm.
media accounts, like how do you kind of position the tool versus like pay to play, or is there any mutual benefits you could get from like paid data to inform kind of organic post within your tool, or like how do you kind of approach that, or does that question ever get asked at all?
Right. So, we like an agency that does paid promotions. Um, they usually have a big team, and they do a lot of this in house. So they do
Hmm.
not come to us. They are too big for us, let's say. So we target those agencies that help these small businesses do organic marketing. These small
Hmm.
businesses, they don't want to do paid marketing. They want
Yeah.
to get customers through organic marketing, and then that's our target audience. So like we can build the like we are planning to build a small boost button here. So based on the network that you are at,
Mm.
you could boost this post. Like you say, hey, I want to spend $5, and we will boost it for you. We are going to build that feature sometime in future, but it's
Mhm.
not something that's on our immediate roadmap. Like our
Yeah.
customers do not care for those. They don't want to spend
Mm.
money. They want to use Ricker Post to spread their evergreen content, to get views through organic means.
Gotcha. And I mean, it's the perfect tool for that. I think even like beyond the paid stuff, like post is great for enhancing that organic kind of post where you don't have to pay. You're saving a lot of cash, but you're feeding the algorithms for these social platforms to give your content more visibility because frequency is obviously part of that factor engagement, and what other algorithm like factors that these social media platforms have. And I think Recur Post does exactly that. It feeds your kind of organic. It's like rocket fuel for like your organic post. It's gonna help you get more of a presence there, and obviously not have to pay as much or at all. But really, I think this is like a good kind of way to stimulate that organic kind of traffic and reach. And it's really hard it's really hard, if not honestly like impossible, to do that manually, because you constantly have to be flowing content in and out, tracking, seeing what works and what isn't. Without a tool like this, it's almost, I mean, it's pretty difficult to really boost that organic kind of reach.
Yeah, and one of our users, she runs a small all-female company. They are
Hmm.
electricians. I believe in UK. She messaged us that her organic post on LinkedIn, got over 1 million likes. So that was like
Whoa,
crazy. So organic content
that's insane.
works. If you put in the
Yeah,
work in your content, it works.
that's
So you,
amazing.
you don't necessarily have to pay. If you don't have money, don't worry about it. Just get your name in front of your audience regularly, consistently, and that's how you win this social media game.
Right on. Well, thank you for this, Dinesh. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time and sharing your tool with us. If folks want to reach you, we're actually, before I do that, I usually have one question at the end. I ask all the founders of companies and tool builders, and I'm really curious to hear your answer here. But what advice would you give to other tool builders or folks thinking about building a SaaS product within the marketing industry?
Um, so yeah, like I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and there are a few things that I would say. Like if you're building or thinking of building a new tool, there are a couple of things that you'll thank me later if you follow those. One is build a tool that you can charge a lot for. So don't build
Mm,
something that you'll sell at $5 a month, $8 a month, $10 a month. Build something that you'd sell for $250, $300, $500 a month. It doesn't take a lot more work than building something that you'll sell for $5. So selling something at $5 is equally difficult. Maybe not equally, maybe a little less difficult, but it's not like this is super easy and that one is super hard. Um,
yeah.
like the benefit that you'll get by building an expensive tool is way more than building something cheaper. Then the second thing that, and this is equally important, is do not build something where your business depends on someone else. Like in our case, we are at the mercy of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you don't know like what they are
Yeah.
going to change tomorrow. Like Elon Musk is there, and every day I wake up and I go, okay, is everything okay? Like you don't know what's going to happen, right? He was like, okay, are we
Right.
going to charge you money for access to Twitter? And like, okay, money we can pay. If you say that no more Twitter for third-party applications, we would worry about that. So like if you are planning to build something where you don't need a third party to operate. So those two are my advice for people who are trying to build a new tool.
Well said. Thank you for that, Dinesh. Appreciate it. And
My
if
pleasure.
folks want to find you, where can they find you? I posted the link to the website on in the chat, but can you let folks where to find you?
Sure. So I am on Twitter. My handle is DINWAL, Dinwal. So I'm super active on Twitter, so you can always reach me there. Or you can email me at Dinesh, DINESH, at rikapost.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again, Dinesh. I appreciate you. Thank you for staying up late with us. Let you get back to it, and appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here, Michael. Have a good one.
See ya.